Welcome, it's Domain Dave again, and another cheap wine finder holiday wine, because we're getting close to Christmas and New Year's, and this one's a bubbly. We did a little bit earlier in the month, we did the Trader Joe's North Coast Brut. I think it was $9.99, and it was a traditional method, Champenois method, made in the champagne style. And it was really good for $10. And what they had at the store, and I was like, I don't know about this. And I'll grab the bottle because it's a little bit more expensive. And it is the Trader Joe's Platinum Reserve Sonoma County Brut Sparkling Wine Method Champenois. $14.99. It's a third more than the North Coast. North Coast is Sonoma, Napa, Mendocino, Lake County, and a couple of other smaller AVAs. So I was like, because the $14.99 puts this Sonoma County Brut in there with a bunch of the French Champagne houses who have California outposts, Mums and Chandon and Pomeray and Roeder and Pipper. I mean, there's some under $20 California bubblies out there that are made, and they buy the same people who are making high-end French champagne, and with the same kind of expertise. And this is Trader Joe's for a couple bucks less, but only a couple. Because most of those I just mentioned all have an under $20 wine, especially this time of year when there's bargains on wine. They're having sales. So I'm going to take a sip. This one actually is good. It is produced and bottled by, which means they made it, Rack and Riddle. Rack and Riddle is I guess you can call them a champagne house. They make bubbly. They have their own brand, and they make bubbly. If a winery doesn't have their own production line for sparkling wine, because it is different than still wine, Rack and Riddle probably makes it. I know someone who's been there, and he saw the forklifts come by with every brand imaginable. He was kind of shocked by it. Well, oh wow, they make that and that and that. And these two Trader Joe's, one, the North Coast and the Sonoma, kind of line up with Rack and Riddle's own line of wines. They have their own line of bubblies. And their Sonoma, which is a little bit different, and this is Pinot Noir, mostly. They didn't give the percentages with Chardonnay and a little bit of Pinot Meunier. And it kind of lines up with Rack and Riddle's $23, $24 bottle of wine. And a $23, $24 bottle of California Bubbly is a really good, well-made wine, because no one will pay more than that for, unless you got a name like Schramsberg or Gloria Ferrara or Iron Horse. Because you're $10 off of real champagne bubbly, you can't go that much higher, because when people have Moet Chandon and Rack and Riddle, they're buying the Moet. So it's like 24 is like the highest you could go in a lot of cases. People do go higher, and people do have fans of wines and that type of thing. So this is a Platinum Reserve wine, and that usually means for Trader Joe's that it's a really big savings. And I guess $24 from down to $14.99 is kind of a savings. If it is, no one ever said that this is Rack and Riddle's own brands, but they do kind of match up for what they're doing. And it would make sense if there is a somewhat relationship there. And Rack and Riddle does have modern equipment. They do know how to make sparkling wine. And, in the modern ages, they do have contacts with, all the vineyards around there. They probably have more contacts than the French Champagne houses do in Sonoma. So there might be, it might be a very good thing. And like I said, a $24, $23 bubbly is a very good bubbly. I mean, everything's subjective to taste, but there you go. I'm going to take another sip. So my whole thing was, is it worth extra $5? And it's like, well, it's the holidays, spend an extra $5, you get a little more creaminess to it. You get a little more flavor, you get a little bit of everything that the $9.99 North Coast Bubblies kicks butt for $10. It's about as good of a $10 bubbly as you're going to get. And this $14.99 is really nice, It can be someone's favorite inexpensive bubbly, I think. I mean, you don't have it all year round, but it does really it's nice. I've had the Pommery one recently, and I think a couple other ones, and I really like those. And this has Pinot Noir based, and California does really good Pinot Noir based sparkling wine, so there's some good things going here. So is it worth the extra $5? Yeah, though I would, I really like the $9.99 one too. And if I was going to have it, at a party wine, this is a great party wine. The $9.99, the North Coast is a great party wine. If I was just going to have a couple of friends over, 1 or 2 friends, and you're sharing the bottle of just sipping and talking, I might go for the Pommery or maybe Pipper or one of the other California ones, because they're in the same price range, and it does, showing off does, that's what champagne's about a little bit. I love the taste, but, it does look better on your table pouring those wines in Trader Joe's Platinum Reserve, but it's all what it tastes like, isn't it? And it tastes great, and it's $15, and it's going to be a little cheaper than the French ones, or the French versions of the California ones. But if it tastes good, drink it, and there you go, because it tastes great. So we got more wine this week, and then we're going to hit the Fast and Furious for the New Year's, and there you go. I'll be talking to everybody in a couple of days. Stay safe, keep it cheap, stay healthy, and all that. And I will have more wine reviews and just wines to drink. Try to bring some good wines at a good price, because if you can save a few bucks on party wines, why not? I mean, you can always splurge, for 1 or 2 expensive bottles, but drink good and drink cheap is always the way to go. So adios. I'll be talking to everybody in a couple of days. Bye-bye.